Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of BAE Women. BAE stands for Black Adopted Empowered Women, and we are so happy you're here with us because we are about to give you the tools and the tips and the fabulosity at how to go after the life that you have been built for. But before we get started on our first episode, let me introduce myself. I'm one of the co-hosts of BAEs. My name is Sarah Smith, and I want my girls to go ahead and say who they are as well. Amanda?
Hello, babes. My name is Amanda McKinstry, and I am so happy to be here. I am also one of the co-hosts of BAE Women, Latika.
Hey, babes. So my name is Latika Jeffrey, and I'm also a co-host of BAE. I'm Lydia.
Hey, babes. I'm another co-host. My name is Lydia Berkey, and I'm so happy y'all are here with us today.
Yes. Everybody give a hand clap. Give a snap, snap, snap.
Snap, 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 snap,
Okay.
snap. Okay. And then guess what? Who we are all together.
Yes, all together. Who are we, girls?
BAE.
And we are going to be checking in with you guys throughout this first season, and we hope you check back with us as well. And with that being said, now that you know who we are, we're about to get to the topic of our show today. Now, on today's episode of BAEs, we are doing a get to know me. As we all know, we're adopted. We are bold, Black, beautiful women, but there's other things about us that you may not know, and you'll get to know it through this season of the show. So, ladies, I want to go ahead and read you off the questions that you're going to be answering. So get your thinking caps on because here they go. So the first question you'll be answering is, where are you from and what type of adoptee are you? Next, do you have siblings? Were you adopted into a single parent home or both parents? Are you an adoptee who has experienced reunion? How do you want to improve the adoptee space? Aside from being an adoptee, is there anything else you do? And how can the community connect with you? Sound good? Everybody can handle that?
Got it.
All right, babes. Well, let's go. We are going to start with Lydia.
Hey, girl.
We are starting with you. So first things first, honey, where are you from and what type of adoptee are you?
I am from Michigan, born and raised. I was born in Detroit, grew up in a small town about an hour away, and I am a transracial adoptee.
Okay, Michigan, we see you. Y'all ever remember that old song that used to be like "So Cold in the D"? And wasn't it
It's
talking
so
about
cold in the D. Damn, child. Let me pull it up.
Okay, that's so old. Let's move on. Okay, Lydia. So,
Yeah.
do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 3 siblings that are also adopted, an older brother, and then 2 younger siblings, a brother and a sister.
Okay, big fan, big fan. Yes. All right. And were you adopted into a single parent home or did you have both parents?
2-parent household.
Okay. And are you an adoptee who has experienced reunion?
I have not, and there's a lot that comes with that. I'll just say that. I think for me, I have to be able to be in the right mental and emotional space to start that journey because there is no guarantee that I will be welcomed in or that there will be an ongoing relationship with anyone I meet in my
Yeah.
biological family. So I just feel like I'm trying to navigate that right now before I enter into that journey.
Okay, and I love that navigating it. Sometimes I think as adoptees, or not even adoptees, when you're searching for something that you've never had, we just jump right in and we don't think about, okay, what is the aftercare I may be needing from this?
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who you are reunion or you're thinking about it, we do have another Bay on here who has experienced reunion, Amanda, and so she'll be able to tell her experience about that side as well. So how do you want to improve the adoptee space?
I like this question. So for me, it's wanting to just create a community of adoptees that are just unapologetically ourselves and able to tell our stories and live out our truths, whether that's in the adoption community or not. I think something that I've seen a lot with adoptees is a struggling with self-confidence and just trying to figure out who we are and where we belong. And so I really want to continue to empower adoptees in their journey to becoming their best selves.
Yes, becoming your best selves.
I think all our answers are going to be very similar because that's why we're all here. That's why we are doing this, because all of us are really on the same page when it comes to that stuff. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah, I love the word become because, you know, it's okay to be on the way. Like I'm on the way to this thing. A lot of times we try to, or at least I know I've struggled with perfectionism and I feel like I have to already be at this goal. I have to already be this thing. And no, I'm becoming, I'm unfolding. You're going to be whole, honey.
That's a good one. You know what? Write that word down because I like that. Becoming.
Yes, I have it in my bio, and that is the quote from Michelle Obama's book. That's the quote on my website because that's how I feel. There's not this finish line. I'm forever becoming. And I want to celebrate that and honor that.
Yeah.
Honor that. That's the word honor. Okay. And I don't know what just happened there. But okay. And aside from being adoptee, is there anything else that you do?
Yes. So I am a full-time permanency and adoption caseworker. I also work part-time at a group home for teen moms. And I'm currently in school to get my master's in social work.
Nice. I love it. Okay. So final question. How can the community connect with you?
So the best way to connect with me is on Instagram. My Instagram handle is adoptee with the number 2 adoption worker. I have the link there to my website where I offer mentorship. You can just DM me or email me at the same email if you ever want to connect.
Yay! So everybody head on over to Lydia's page, get with her. She's definitely a joy and a delight. I think we can all agree, babes, right?
Yes. That's why you here, girl.
All right. Well, thank you so much for just sharing who you are with the BAE community. And girl, I look forward to many more chats with you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And who do we have coming up next? Latika, but you know, I'm gonna let Amanda handle that. Amanda's gonna go ahead and do your questions, and I'm excited to watch. Let's
go. Okay, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. So, Latika. Okay, so first question: where are you from, and what type of adoptee are you?
So, I was born in California, San Diego.
Cali gal.
Yes. And somehow I ended up in the wonderful DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Yes.
Now I have been all over DMV, lived in multiple places, but currently I reside in Maryland. And it's been a great joy, but my family is from Virginia. And they are, I wouldn't say transracially adopted, but my mom is Caucasian and my dad is Black. So we have a nice mixture in our family.
Definitely sounds multicultural. That's very interesting. And Latika also is, she also brings something really unique to the table because she also has experience with kinship adoptions. So if anybody is interested in learning more about that, we are going to talk more about Latika's story in the future. So thank you for that. So do you have any siblings, bio or adopted?
Yes, bio and adopted. There's a total of 7 of us. I am the first oldest on my biological side, and I am the second oldest on my adopted side. But it is great fun because we are all ranging from the ages of 20 to 32.
Okay.
So we're all adults and
age,
great
that's
ages.
Pretty, I was about to say.
Exactly. And that's on all sides, my adopted and biological side. So they're all 6 years apart roughly on all sides.
I think it's amazing that you remain the oldest in both families, because sometimes what happens is when there's an adoption that happens, you can go from being the oldest to the youngest, or the youngest to the middle child, based upon the age range of what the children are who are brought into the home. So that's amazing. You stay the oldest.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So when you were you adopted into a single parent household or 2-parent household?
2 parents.
Okay. And
Great.
are you an adoptee who has experienced reunion?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I have I reconnected with my biological mother when I was 18.
Mhm.
And it's all a funny story. One day we'll maybe get into it. I don't know, but
I'm sure we'll have a show about
I'm sure we will get into it. I definitely, I'm sure we're gonna, the way that we are right now.
Yeah.
So I reconnected with her when I was 18, and I always remained in contact with my biological grandmother on my biological father's side. But it's been an experience, needless to say.
Of course, I could imagine, definitely. And I'm looking forward to hearing more of that. And how did you want to improve the adoptee space?
Just kind of like Lydia was stating earlier, I want to create a community where not just youth feel comfortable, but also adoptees, of all ages, infant to adulthood, but create a community where they feel welcomed and loved and continuously supported, because this is an ongoing journey of self-discovery, self-love, and there's always a new angle, approach coming. And it's important to have people that understand or going through the process and journey next to you, because everyone processes it differently. And to have someone that has maybe a similar situation helps a lot. And I know personally for myself, it's definitely helped to have someone with similar experiences when it comes to reunification or kinship, foster care, adoption, even down to having this, having BA. It still is a form of community, and it helps, me express myself openly and freely amongst women of color that understands. So my goal is to create that community and to continue to build and mentor youth, and to give them the tools that are needed for self-love, self-improvement, and to continue to be a great asset into society.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I love
for
that.
That's I like that. Very deep, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
I like how you said it's an ongoing process, because it is.
For sure. So aside from being an adoptee, is there anything else that you do?
Absolutely. My longest held job ever, and it's being paid with hugs and kisses. I have the toughest bosses ever. And that's being a stay-at-home mom. So I am a full-time stay-at-home mom. And I take it seriously, because as you know, growing up in foster care is not what I want for my kids. And so I kind of overcompensate with kind of staying at home with them and making sure that they don't go down the same direction or have any experience that I experienced, even the lack of love, the lack of support. I want them to feel my presence everywhere, in the school, in the car. I want them to feel it, even like if it's like annoying, just overwhelmed with love.
Interesting in the way that you say that, because unfortunately, I've been a single mother for all these years. Well, not unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. But I've been a single mother, which I didn't have that opportunity to stay home with my daughter. But as she's getting older, I mean, we just really take every opportunity to spend time together. And I feel that as an adoptee and, you being in foster care, it really just kind of sets the bar. We really want to just focus on being, not being what our parents were to us, so I feel that that's something I could totally relate to you in that aspect. And, it's a blessing to be able to spend as much time with them. And we know it's a full-time job. It's definitely a full-time job, one that you can't just quit or show up to. So, I mean, I definitely can relate to that. So,
yes.
Yeah, I like that you take in being a mom. It's beautiful even just to hear you talk about being a mom.
Yes.
All right. And the last question. So how can the community connect with you?
You can find me on Instagram at Latika_Jeffrey. And then you can go on there and you'll find my other accounts as well. You can also email me at jeffrey.latika@gmail.com for any questions.
Thank you so much. So everybody knows how to connect with her. And if you want to know about more about what she is doing, then go ahead and head over to her Instagram page. And I am actually going to pass it over to Lydia. So Lydia, you could speak to Sarah so we could get to know a little bit more about what Ms. Smith is doing. Okay.
Yes.
And thank you, Latika.
Yes,
thank you,
Latika.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
All right, it's my turn to ask the questions, and Sarah B.A.E is in the hot seat. So, hey, B.A.E, how are you?
B.A.E, I am good. I'm feeling good, looking good. You know, being a diva or whatever.
I know that's right. So let's question.
Apply pressure.
Hey, let's get into it.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, Sarah B.A.E, tell us where you are from and what type of adoptee you are.
I am born. Cut that part out in the beginning. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I am from Haiti. I was actually born there and I was adopted and I came to America. So I lived in Haiti for about my first 5 years. I am what's called a transracial adoptee, even though I just prefer to say, listen, I'm a Black girl who's adopted by a white family, okay? Like, my mom and dad are white, that is it. But no, so yes. But I'm also considered an international adoptee as well. So international adoptee, transracial adoptee, and fabulous.
Okay, girl. So let's hear, do you have any siblings, biological, adopted?
I do have siblings. They are my adopted siblings, though. They are biological to my adoptive parents. So I have 3 brothers, 1 sister that were their bio kids. And then I have another sister who she's adopted like me. She's older. I'm the youngest in the family. And she's also Haitian like myself. So yeah, in total, there's 6 of us in the home. I'm the youngest. As far as my biological family, though, I don't know any information about them. So I don't know if I have any other brothers and sisters out there. I had heard, in talking to my adoptive mom that I may have had some, but again, it hasn't been fully confirmed, just some word of mouth type stuff.
Unfortunately, like a lot of adoptees, we don't know a lot about our family history.
We don't. And so the only thing I really know for certain is everybody has confirmed that when I was left at the hospital outside of Haiti, I was born at home, but I was left outside a hospital, brought there and left outside, that I was the cutest. They said, we have never seen you dressed up. So whoever my bio family is, they knew my girl got to make an entrance wherever she's going. She needs to be.
And you holding up to that,
For real.
Yes,
who you was born to be, okay?
Period. Haitian proud, adoptee confident, all of that. So, yeah.
I love that. So Sarah, were you adopted into a single parent home or were you in a 2-parent household?
I was adopted into a 2-parent home. However, there's a plot twist.
I was about to.
Okay, tornado come now. My parents ended up getting divorced. So the 2-parent home, after a couple of years, ended up being a single parent home. So, and I was with my mom. So that's a whole nother topic that may be talked about or maybe not. I haven't decided.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that though.
Yes, thank you.
So, are you an adoptee who has experienced reunion? You kind of hinted at this before, but.
Yeah.
No, I'm reunited with myself. That's it. Every day, we back.
Reenact. I hear that. I do that every week, though. I ain't even gonna lie.
We back. When you're having one of those, anxiety, ain't been self-caring, I'm like, and I snap back in place. I'm like, oh, there you are. But no, so I have not experienced reunion. And reunion was actually something that until I began really diving into the adoptee world, I never really thought about it being something I cared about. Just because for me, I am very comfortable with the home I was adopted into. I was adopted so young, I was 3 days old. And so, or at least that's what they said based upon me still having my umbilical cord. So I just was, I felt okay. I had other things that I gave my attention to growing up, not just adoption. However, in 2020, I did end up doing the Ancestry kit. Because I was curious. I'm like, I'm in this space, people are talking about it. Why not see what I can see? Who am I now? And so Ancestry did not give me any detailed answers. It just told me I was Haitian, which we already know. Hello, 1804 here. We know. But yeah, so I was disappointed. And I was very surprised at being disappointed because I'm like, wait, you've kind of had it set in your mind, like, if I don't know who these people are, if I don't know them close to me, I'm going to be okay. I didn't think I was going to have disappointment, but so that was true. I am okay, not having all the answers, but disappointment still came because I had put some hope into the maybe.
Of course.
But one thing my dad told me, Dr. Dad, and even a friend, was just Haiti still operates how it did a long time ago. And he was like, if you touch down in Haiti and you tell them who you are, I guarantee somebody's going to know. You tell them who the family is, somebody's going to know. And so that gave me a different perspective, that just like as a Haitian adoptee, depending on how you were placed into adoption, you really may be one of those ones who you have to be okay with creating your own closure, because, the country is still underdeveloped. We don't have all the technology and stuff for them to hop on Ancestry. I found somebody who was like my fourth cousin. He really didn't know any information, but again, those second generation, third generation, they don't have that luxury, that privilege yet to be able to do all that there. So it may take groundwork. You may have to literally physically take yourself to the country when it's a good time to do that and see what you can find. So
awesome, thank you. So how do you want to improve the adoptee space?
I want the adoptee space to be less self-judgment, more self-love. Because there's more to life than adoption. And if we get stuck at our adoption, not having the answers, taking on maybe a mindset or habits of just our adoptive parents, we're not going to grow. We're going to just stay stuck. And in your life journey, yes, in order to move forward, you got to decide who you are, what you want to be. If you don't know your language as an international adoptee, but you now want to take on that mindset, get a tutor. If that's something that's causing you to judge yourself a lot, well, I'm not Haitian enough, or I'm not Hispanic enough, then take the steps towards that. Like, we get stuck just judging ourselves. We judge our start. We judge, mistakes that we feel we made in the middle. Like me, I could have stayed stuck at being like, why did I even play around and do that Ancestry? I shouldn't have did that.
You know what though, Sarah? And I think that that's a huge part, that especially us being, you being international, and us growing up in, a white home where we have to reclaim our identity. And it's really up to us, especially as adults, to do that process. Like, we have to do that work in order for us to get to that certain level where we could have that self-confidence and that self-love. How are we supposed to know where we're going where we do not know where we come from? That's such a hard thing. So I think that that's such a great point that you made, getting a tutor, trying to do the work so you could feel, more self-loving, or, you have less self-doubt.
Embracing who you are, like fully embracing who you are, is also acknowledging and accepting the flaws, the gray areas, because that's a part of your story. The gray
accepting your experiences overall that made you the individual who you are. Exactly. I completely agree. And to build on you're doing Ancestry. I'm actually doing a 23andMe because I'm interested in my genetic makeup. I'm interested in my roots and bringing culture back, kind of what you're doing, and kind of getting a sense of understanding. Like I mentioned, earlier on my social media platform, that, I've came across some surprising information earlier this year that has really had me questioning my identity in a sense. You know, it's an extra layer on top that
always
I discovered
unraveling as an adoptee. There's always
exactly
unraveling.
Exactly.
I like how you brought up 23andMe, because that's the thing. There's more than one resource out there to search for your family and or find who you are, or to know about being a confident Black woman. There's so many other things that, you know, try again. Yep. I said, you know, last year, that's my biggest lesson of 2021 was try again. You know, if you think something is for you, try again. And there's nothing wrong with that. I may do 23andMe. Right. But really, again, less self-judgment, more self-love. Accepting that certain things happen does not mean that we are accepting the fact, you know, we're not saying it's okay. You know, your start may have not have been okay. The home you maybe were adopted into may not have been okay. The way the job treated you may not have been okay, but we accept, hey, that happened. And we are accepting that we've got to move forward. And what are the tools and what are the ways that I'm going to do that in order to be fully confident, comfortable in my own skin. So that's what I want to bring to the adoptee space, to women, period, is being a woman who's confident and comfortable in your own skin, and you are on a journey of fully embracing who you are. So,
I love that so much. And I hope through this series, you will be able to give people more tips, because I do think a lot of adoptees do feel stuck and may be ashamed to ask for help or don't even know where to start. And so, since this is kind of part of your passion and mission, I know people will love to hear more from you on how to get unstuck. So I look forward to hearing as well from you.
Thank you.
So aside from being an adoptee, is there anything else you do?
Oh my gosh. So yeah. So I do have some hidden talents. Most people do not know this. I'm a classical pianist. I play classical piano since I was about 9 years old. Also, what else I do? I don't know. I like nature. So I love a beautiful view. I love water and flowers and all of that stuff, but it's weird because I don't love, you know, the creatures, the animals and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, and I'm sitting here, I don't know if you see my facial expression, but I'm about to say,
I'm that person that's out there in nature. Like, I got my blanket and my
you're like, oh my God, a bug.
Because I'm like, if this duck attacks me, around, like, I got to be able to run. So it's like, girl. Yes, but I love traveling beautiful views. But outside of being an adoptee and needing 24-hour self-care, I am a greeting card designer. And so I have a greeting card company called Notes of Hope. And it is the first greeting card company in the United States to have cards in both English and Haitian Creole. So that's very pivotal. That ain't no word. But what's unique about that is just, you know, I really wanted Haitian adoptees and Haitian Americans to be able to have a piece of home with them. It's also a secret way that I help myself learn Creole for myself, is being able to write it and express it on cards. So it's not just, you know, a tool that's, you know, given away and somebody may throw it in the trash. It's actually the way my cards are designed. They're designed as something that you can keep, something you can use for yourself, for someone else. And so we'll definitely talk more about that, I'm sure, in another episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, your girl is an ultimate designer.
We love an entrepreneur out here in these streets. So we will definitely talk more about that. Okay. I love it. So the last question for you, Sarah Bay, is how can the community connect with you?
Cash apps and Venmos only. No, but you can stay connected with me. Let's be friends by following me on Instagram at 24-hour diva. That's the number 24, then hour, HOUR diva. And in my bio, the links will have my other pages. So Notes of Hope, follow the business, you know, the journey on that. And just, I have a self-care lounge, 24-hour self-care, as I said, in order to help build you up, confident, comfortable in your own skin. So yeah,
I love it. Yes.
You might get a voice message from me for those of y'all out there. I do love that.
She does. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. I always love learning about all of my baes, but it was great to hear a little bit more about you. So I'm going to pass the mic to Latika to be the next one to put someone in the hot seat.
Okay.
Okay, so Amanda Bay. Yes, now it's time to talk about you.
Okay, last but certainly not least.
Period.
So, Amanda, my first question for you is, where are you from and what type of adoptee are you?
I'm from the boogie down Bronx, New York. Okay. So I was born in the Bronx and I was raised on Long Island, which is about 45 minutes, well, depending on what part of Long Island. But where I grew up was a small town about an hour away from the Bronx.
Nice. And where are you now?
So right now I am just like you, girl. Okay, we're like neighbors, but not really. And also Lydia Bay. But I am in the DMV area, more specifically Maryland. I moved out here, 2018. So it's been almost 3 years. So I've been out here for about a little over 3 years. So that's where my journey led me to. And I don't know if I'm going to stay. I know I'm not going to stay in this location, but I'm going to stay in the DMV for now.
Nice. Now,
and, I am also a transracial adoptee, but I'm a Black girl in a white family, just like Sarah said. Okay. So whichever way you want to put it, either way, I was adopted into a white family at 3 days old also.
Nice. 3 days old. Oh my gosh.
Baby.
I didn't know you guys had that in common.
I know. When we were talking, when we first met, I was like, what'd you say?
Wow.
Just a sister. We have
Look at how we're bonding together and not even knowing all the dots are connected.
Exactly.
Ooh, I can't wait. So now, do you have any siblings?
Yes. So I have a sibling that was adopted a year after me, a brother. He was actually adopted from New Mexico. And I have a biological half sister.
Nice.
And she's actually older than me. So in my situation, I am the oldest in my adoptive family and the baby in my biological family. Very interesting.
It is. Now, next question. Were you adopted into a single parent home or both parent home?
Two parents. My parents were married. I believe they were actually married 20-something years before they adopted my brother and I, and they actually just made their 51st wedding anniversary.
Come on, Mom and Dad.
So,
Congratulations.
They are still going hard in the paint. You know but they are still going hard, and it's so good to look at them, like that, because the same thing with my fiance, his parents are still together, and it just, we admire that about our parents, but it also kind of sets the bar high too, because we're like, what's the secret? Like, what's the secret sauce to, living or being together for so long? Because I think I'm like 50 years. Like, that's a long time. So, I mean, I commend anyone who could make it past that point, because it's tough, relationships are very tough. So, yeah.
I'm only in year 7, and boy, oh boy, just to make it.
I know, right? You're looking like, whoa.
Pressure's on. The pressure's on, but it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful experience to kind of have a unity, a connection with someone that you pick, and a lifelong connection, where adoption is a different type of twist, where you kind of grow into that love and you just experience again, like I said, a different type of love, a parent love and a love that you build, but the tools that you get from your parents' relationship, you kind of take with you to your relationships, and it becomes the basis, kind of just the starting point for you, and creating that type of love and what it looks like.
it's definitely different. And, you know, I love that you said that, because there's no love. And especially when you're loved by someone of the opposite sex, or when you're loved by a friend, you know, and I could call one of my girlfriends and be like, girl, like, I love you, you know, it's really a different kind of love. And I value that. I never take that for granted, because, you know, of my past experiences and relationships, that's something that is key. You know, if I say I love you, then you better take that and do not take advantage of it, because I don't say it easily, and I love hard. So I'm the type that I'm going to tell you what you want, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but it's coming from a place of, you know, it's coming from a good place. So it's exciting, you know, it's really exciting to, you know, see what the future may hold. And especially with you guys, I feel like we're all building such genuine, you know, communication. Well,
we're having a relationship show, so
but
talking about relationships. So
Yeah.
get your tea and your coffee.
I can't wait for that one.
Yes.
Oh man. The pressure's on, and so is the heat. It's all the way up. So my next question, number 4, are you an adoptee who has experienced reunification? Tell me a little bit about that.
So I have experienced reunion. I was about 15 going on 16, somewhere around there. I reconnected with my biological family. Yes, I did.
Nice.
So in reunion, I would say past. Yes, I was in reunion. I don't know about so much anymore, but again, that's a whole other episode. And kind of going back to what Lydia was saying, I think that is very smart for you to actually think about, you know, your mental state, and think about, you know, are you ready for this? What can I expect? How will I feel? Because I wasn't. And that was me on the other end with, I just wanted to meet. I thought everything was going to be peaches and cream. And my mother was just going to be like, oh my God, I've been waiting so long. And you know what? It was good in the beginning, but it slowly went left. And I feel like, you know, reunion is such a complicated thing. As we all know, adoption is. That's just another piece to the puzzle where we're left not knowing what to do or uncertain, you know? So, you know, it's been a journey. That's all I can say.
I did want to add how you know, when you and I had talked about your reunion, just understanding the importance before you jump into it, boundaries and limits. So I know we'll definitely deep dive into reunion stuff, but I thought that was just an important thing that you're like, I wish I could have done. So
I have more to even build on that, but like I said, it's another episode for another time, because it's, you know,
because we can talk. We'll be here for hours talking about all different things. We're trying to stay on topic, y'all, and it's very hard. Trust me.
We're doing great now. So my next question is, how do you want to improve the adoption space, the community, the industry? Like, what is Amanda's take on this?
So when I first started doing my YouTube, I always wanted to connect with people who could relate to what I went through. I had really no intention of even being here at this point. Everything just kind of snowballed, and then one thing turned into another. So initially when I started, I said, I just want to share my story because I feel like this could help someone else. And it wasn't even, you know, I was so vulnerable, you know, and that's just how it happened. So I really am looking forward to just creating a safe space for people where they could be themselves. And I think this ties into something that each of and every one of us, you know, said before, but it's just being who you are, being comfortable in your own skin. It took me so long to get to that point. And I look back and I'm just like, what was I thinking? Like, why? But again, I had to go through life's phases, and I had to go through what I had to go through in order for me to get to this point. And I would never regret it. So I really just want to create that community where people are, we could laugh, we could joke, we could cry, we could get mad, we could really just be our true, authentic selves and still be able to come together and empower each other at the end of the day and say, you know what, sis, like you were wrong, but I got you. I love you anyway. And we're going to move forward and move past this. And just create, like, you know, I just want to do stuff in person. I want us to be able to have that relationship with each other also. Community, you know, community is very important.
I like how you said that you wanted to create a space where we are pretty much genuine. We are able to be vulnerable. And it's really important being in this space because it's a lot of growing individuals, a lot of healing, and to be vulnerable is a big part of it, not only for our community, but for us. And so I appreciate you taking the time and creating that space and being part of BAE, women going through this journey. So thank you. Our next question is, aside from being an adoptee, is there anything else you do?
So yes, there is. I do a lot of stuff. But I do a lot of stuff. But one of the things that I do, which is my full-time job, I am an advocate for women who are in domestic violence situations. So I do work in a courthouse full-time, and I provide them resources. I provide an ear, some advice and everything like that, and just help them to to just have an ear. I mean, sometimes some of these things that these women go through, they really just want somebody to listen and validate their experience. We know that the criminal justice system is crazy. So they're just looking for validation. They're looking for validation, for support. So that's something that I do. And then obviously I am the creator of Black Girl White Family, which I really don't want to get too much into, but I am doing other stuff on that platform. And that's pretty much, I'm also a mom, full-time mom. I will say not as full-time as you because my so, but still, I mean, I'm still here, obviously, when she needs me full-time, 24/7. But yeah, I'm a mother and future wife. So I really do have my work cut out for me.
Yes, sis, congratulations on your engagement. I am super excited. I can't wait for the pictures. Yes. So now my next question is, how can a community connect with you? I know you said you have a couple social media links, or you got it. Sorry.
It's all right. I got you. I know what you're trying to say. Okay.
There you go, sis.
So you
there
can
you go.
connect with me at Black Girl White Family. That's my Instagram handle. And also you can find the link to my personal page on there, which I do more of lifestyle. And also you can see my link tree, which has all my links to everything else that is going on. I mean, pretty much everything is on my Instagram. So if you go there, you could catch me over there. And obviously, and my email info@blackgirlwhitefamily.com.
Well, thank you, BAE, for being here and introducing us and being present with all the BAEs. Any of my BAEs got anything else to say? No?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness. I just loved hearing about each and every one of you. Now, the audience sees clearly what we all have in common is adoption. And we are some beautiful Black women, but our lives are also so different. So what we want you guys to know in the BAE community is that we're going to be covering topics that aren't just about adoption, about how you can function and be empowered in your everyday life. So that's relationships, that's lifestyle, it's empowerment, it's adversity, and so we can't wait for you guys to tune in and see everything else we have to offer. Our first episode, it feels like it's been a success to me, ladies. How about y'all?
Yes. This was good.
Yes.
Let's get some snaps going. This is
hair flips. Listen, 2 snaps and a hair flip. But we hope you guys enjoy this. Please give us your feedback on the video. Any questions you may want all of us or even us individually to answer for you. And also tune into episode 2, where we dive a little bit deeper about each BAE and who they are. And that way we just start to gear you up for the rest of the season. So we're so excited for you to be here. And with that, BAEs, I think it's time for us to check out. What you think? BAEs on 3.
Bye, BAEs.